If you've been scrolling through the news lately and just feeling completely overwhelmed, like the world is more tense and chaotic than it's ever been, well, you are definitely not alone. It's a feeling a lot of us are sharing right now.
So what is actually going on? I mean, is this just us? Are we just seeing things through our crazy social media feeds, or is something fundamentally different happening out there? That's exactly what we are going to unpack today.
Yeah, this quote right here, it just nails that feeling, that widespread anxiety. But what if it's not just a feeling? What if it's a sign that the very foundations of how our world works are shifting right under our feet?
Okay, so to understand what's happening now, we have to take a step back and look at the world we've all been living in. And here's the key thing to realize. The relative peace and stability that most of us grew up with, well, that wasn't normal. It was a total historical anomaly.
Think of it like this. For the last 75 years, we haven't been living in the real world. We've been inside an artificial bubble, a period of strange, unusual calm that shielded us from the kind of chaos that defined almost all of human history. And now, that bubble's bursting.
This bubble really got started right after World War II. It created what we call a bipolar world, dominated by two superpowers, the US and the USSR. Then, in 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed, and suddenly we were in a unipolar moment where the United States was pretty much setting the rules for everybody. But that era is over, and the old order is crumbling as we speak.
The system was often called the rules-based order, but don't let the name fool you. There was no world government. It was more like a shared fiction, a set of agreements and laws that basically only worked as long as the most powerful country in the world was willing and able to make sure everyone followed them.
So what happens when that shared fiction starts to fall apart, when people stop believing in the story? Well, you get what we're seeing today, which you could call the Great Unraveling. The whole framework that's held everything together for decades is just disintegrating, and it's happening fast.
And the real-world consequences? They're all over the news. These aren't just a bunch of random, isolated events. Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the attacks of October 7th, China's aggressive stance on Taiwan, they're all symptoms of the exact same problem. Countries around the world are testing the old system because they sense the rules just don't apply anymore.
But listen, the collapse of the global order, that's only half the story. There is a second factor, one that's arguably even more explosive, and it's pouring gasoline on the fire: technology. We have gained unbelievable power, but have we gained any of the wisdom needed to control it?
These are what you could call high-leverage discoveries. Think about it, single breakthroughs that give a small number of people the power to affect the entire planet. They're like these giant levers that can literally move the world, for better or for worse.
And what's wild is that in a stunningly short period of time, humanity grabbed hold of 3 of these godlike levers. Back in the early 1950s, we unlocked the atom with the H-bomb, and at almost the exact same time, we figured out the code of life itself with DNA's double helix. And then, much more recently, a single academic paper from 2017 called "Attention is All You Need" kicked off the entire generative AI revolution we're living through right now.
If you really want to grasp the incredible leverage we're talking about, just consider this number: 12. Just 12 nucleotides, a tiny, tiny fragment of genetic code. We're part of a virus that literally shut down the entire planet. That's the kind of power we're now dealing with.
And this right here, this really gets to the heart of the problem. Our technological power is on an exponential curve. It's just shooting for the stars. But our wisdom, our ability to manage that power, to use it correctly, it's staying dangerously, terrifyingly flat. All the chaos we're feeling is born in that massive gap.
So what do you get when you combine a collapsing world order with an exponential explosion in world-altering technology? Well, you don't get some sci-fi movies set in the distant future. You get right now. You get our present reality.
This might be the single most important takeaway from all of this. For years, we've heard big thinkers and futurists talk about the singularity. You know, that future moment when technological change becomes uncontrollable, irreversible. Well, the argument here is pretty stark. Stop waiting for it. You're living in it. This is it.
This isn't just another tense period in history. No, this is the beginning. It's the slow, messy, chaotic birth of a completely different kind of world. We are seeing things for the very first time, like first-person view drone warfare, where a soldier is literally watching through the drone's own eyes as it hits its target. This is brand new territory for humanity.
So here we are. The artificial bubble of stability we lived in for 75 years has burst.
We have power that we've never had before, without the wisdom to manage it, and the old rules are all gone. This new, chaotic era is going to be defined by how we answer the most important question there is: what comes next?